Hello friends, how are you all doing? My name is Shaz, short for Shahrazad, and I love colorful makeup. Today, you asked and I deliver. You wanted me to dupe Good Sport by Colourpop, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we get into the video, I want you to tell me which of these two eye looks is done with the original palette and which one is done with the dupe. Because my left is different from your, my left and right are different from your left and right, I'm just gonna hold two pencils up. So you tell me which side is the authentic palette. Is it the red side or the green side? Write it in the comments below. Also, before we get started, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. My handle is in the comment box below. Now let's go into the video. In another video where I talked about my favorite fall palettes that this is my favorite palette of all times, which is why I'm even doing this, because if you all missed out on this palette has a very special place in my heart. I don't know why Colourpop isn't doing this kind of stuff anymore. Their palettes are so boring, seriously. I'm going to reveal the result of the challenge at the very end, building suspense here. And until then, what we're going to do is I'm going to go row by row and I'm going to tell you the colors that I found in my collection that I think are either exact dupes or more or less dupes. For some of them, I couldn't find exact dupes, but I tried to find dupes that are close enough. And for the shimmers, I'm going to introduce some new age 2022-2023 colors, you know, multichromes and duochromes and things like that. Okay, this is going to be a swatch fest. I'm going to start with the color Sista, which is this purple, and I'm going to do these on my hand that I can show you. So I usually do two swatches or two swipes. And for dupes here, I have this color also by Colourpop called Seeing Stars. And this is Seeing Stars. Again, these colors might not be exactly the same. And the next one is 143 again by Colourpop. I think this might be a closer dupe. Yep, I think this color is a closer dupe. It's even grainy a little bit, similar to the original color. Yeah, I think these two colors are super close. We're going to go back into the palette and now I'm going to try this color. The name of the color is Rookie. This is an orange base with what looks like glitters. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to do another swatch. And the closest I could find to this color was Hot Rod by Looxi Beauty. This was the closest color I could find in my collection to dupe Rookie. I'm going to move my hand around a little bit for you to see this. So the difference between Hot Rod and Rookie is that Hot Rod literally has a glittery hue on top of it, whereas Rookie looks like it has glitters inside. Neither color is crunchy or glittery. But this is truly the closest dupe I've seen in all of my collection, and I don't think you can see too much of a difference. Moving on to the next color, which is this one. The name of the color is Hooky, and it's a very nice orange brick color. I have to confess, this made me realize I actually don't have a lot of matte singles. The closest I could find to this was Blood Moon by Looxi. And let me swatch that for you. I don't think they're the same exact color. I think Blood Moon is much lighter. But this color is not an uncommon brown. I don't have a lot of neutrals. I also don't have a lot of neutral palettes, which is another reason why it has been kind of difficult for me to dupe this color. But I have a feeling it's not going to be difficult to find a single from different brands or even a neutral palette that's probably carrying a similar color, even in the Colourpop collection itself. I also have to confess it's a beautiful color. The next color I'm going to swatch is Wild Out. This is a very nice warm pearly shimmer. This is gonna sound kind of ridiculous. I couldn't find something this basic in my singles collection because everything I could find to dupe this was either a multichrome, duochrome, I don't know, super funky. However, I noticed that this color in the Classical Paradise palette by Ace Beauty, and the name of the color is Hey, could possibly dupe this. So this is Hey. Hey is a little warmer, but they're not that different. And just for kicks, I'm gonna swatch this one as well, called Barley for you. But Barley is a little too light. This color, frankly, is a mix of Hay and Barley. Barley is just way too light. Let's swatch Barley. So we have Wild Out, Hay, and Barley. Okay, friends, I wiped off Hay and Barley because I want to now go to 2023 and tell you what would be the equivalent of this if you're trying to dupe this palette for 2023. One color I would recommend is Good Day by Glaminatrix. Let me quickly swatch this for you. This is a fantastic color. So it looks a lot more orange in the pan than it is. And this color is just fantastic. It has an orange hue from some angles. It has a pink hue from some angles. It has a gold hue from some angles. I really hope you can see it. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'm trying to move my hand back and forth to make sure you can see it. When I look at it from here, I see gold. I think you all see pink. It's a beautiful color. It's one of those mesmerizing colors, and I'm not sure if you can see it in the pan. If you're trying to dupe this palette at home, consider this color as a dupe for that. Another color that I would consider is Venus by Terra. Now Venus, for the ones of us who own this color, we know it's a very light green to pink shimmer, and it's insane. This color is just insane. Let me swatch it for you. I'm going to swatch it before that color. I think you all see pink, but it's a very subtle pink, and it is just insane. And let me see if I can capture the green hue. I don't know if you can see the green hue, but from my angle, I literally see this color as lime green, and it's a beautiful color. So it's one of those things that in reality, you're not going to see it 100% as green nor as orange, but in some angles, you're going to see bronze. I think you can see bronze there. In some angles, you're seeing light pink. In some angles, you're going to see green. And it can really be mesmerizing with some of the other colors in this palette. Another color that I might consider while we're talking about creams, this color, I see cream, but I think you guys see kind of a pink, is Peach Cobbler from Touch of Glam. And it definitely looks like a cream that has a cold hue. And I'm going to swatch this really fast for you all. And I think this could also be another alternative. It looks a little cooler than that color, but I think it could kind of maybe be a replacement. You see, in certain angles it has the same kind of hue, but in certain other angles it has a purple or a pink hue. Trooper is the next color, which is this one. I'm gonna go into Trooper and I'm gonna swatch it for you real quick. As a dupe for Trooper, I picked Totally Bugging by Colourpop. This color, folks, is literally an exact dupe. Like, it's very difficult to see the difference between these two colors. I think this color might be a notch darker, but it's very difficult to see the difference between these two colors. They're almost exact dupes. Moving on to the next color, which is Reckless. This color, when you touch it, is a little grainy. I think Colourpop has gotten better with the quality of their mattes. I'm going to dupe it with Violicious from Looxi Beauty. And Violicious is has a little hue of purple. It is not as deep as that color. Another color you could possibly use as a dupe is this color called Soil, but Soil also is not as dark as Reckless. Let me quickly show you. This is Soil. So Soil is also a little bit lighter. It's not as dark. One thing you can do is to mix this color, if you have this palette, to mix these two colors. So let me now also swatch for you the brown, because the brown could also in some way serve as a dupe. There could be palettes out there, like for example, Blend's palette might have a dupe for this, Surge palette might have a dupe for this. I have not looked in my palettes because it could take years to get this exercise done. Off the top of my head, I had a couple of palettes in mind that I thought might have a color to dupe, but if I want to open every single palette that I have, I probably have more than 100 palettes, so you can imagine how long that would take. I have bad news for you all, unfortunately, and that is that I could not find even a closed dupe for this, a color called High Hopes. This is a super creamy matte. Because I didn't find a dupe for it, I'm going to just swatch it right here for you all. As I said, I didn't want to look into all of my palettes, because that also kind of defeats the purpose, because I don't want to tell you all to go buy 5 palettes to be able to dupe this one palette, right? And I don't have anything that dupes this color. Next color we're looking at is Licious, which is a warm toned gold. Frankly, I think a lot of people probably in various palettes have similar colors as this. I'm not a huge gold fanatic, which is part of the reason I didn't have an exact dupe for this in my singles. I have no doubt that I have this exact warm gold color in a palette somewhere, even thinking about Juvia's Place palettes, Colourpop palettes, and so other Colourpop palettes and so on. But let's move on to possibly funkifying this color with, bringing it to 2023. So the first color I want to look at is Sunflower by Looxi Beauty. This is a warm tone gold. It might be a little warmer than this color. And this color has a hue of pink from some angles. I think you might be able to see the pink hue. Another color that I thought might not be a bad sort of dupe is Social Butterfly. And this also could either be a dupe for this color or a dupe for Rookie, because this has a red hue from some angles. I think you can see the red hue. So this could be a funky dupe for Rookie. Let's try it. So this is a gold that has a red undertone, and then on top of it you see a blue shift. So yeah, I suppose I could say this is a funky version of Rookie, which was this color. Now if I want to take it even a step further, I could pick a color like Titan, which is a multichrome by Terra, and this is a gold to a green multichrome. And I can possibly consider that. This color, let me see if I can capture the green shift. From the angle I'm looking at, I see green. But you see the color from this angle is not that far from the original color. It's just a matter of the fact that this color, let's see if we can capture the green. There's a very dark green hue. I mean, it's not dark green, but there's a very obvious green shift that might be visible from some angles in this color, Titan by Terra. Okay, friends, let's now go with the Flow, which is the name of this color. This color is also a little grainy. Let's do a swatch. Doing another swatch. So that is the color for you. I'm gonna do a third swatch just so we get more pigment. And I'm gonna dupe that color with Primordial from Shroud. The color looks a lot more burgundy in the pan, and this is Primordial. They're not that far apart. If you build up flow, you could possibly get very close to this color. Just a Primordial is darker. I have glitter all over everything. Our next color is this green shimmer called Ebb. You know, like ebb and flow. This is Ebb. Let me do another swatch for you. And I think Artifact from Shroud could be a dupe for this color. Let's see how close they are. This is Artifact. Yep, I think Artifact is a tad darker, but otherwise it's kind of the same shade. I have another potential dupe, which is Rockstar from Looxi. Yep, kinda the same. Rockstar, I think, is supposed to be a duochrome of dark green to gold, but sort of a grungy dark green to gold. So from some angles, you see a dark green hue. From the angle I'm looking, I can see the dark green, but I'm not sure if you all can. Now we're gonna go super funky. This is Inertia by Terra. That's the color Swatched. It's interesting because when I look at it, I actually see a color very similar to these. I'm gonna swatch it here. I don't know if you can see the shift that I see, but there is definitely a shift where this color looks exactly like that color. I'm going to try to move my hand around. So again, this color is Inertia by Terra. You all know how much I love neutral leaning multichromes. As much as I don't wear neutrals on my face. Unfortunately, it seems like I'm unable to capture that shift, but just believe me, this definitely has a hue that is that color. Our next color is Trophies, which is this gray color with a very light hint of green. This is a super unique color, and I'm just going to be honest with you all that it was very difficult finding a dupe for it. I'm not convinced that the colors that I found are dupes. I have found moderate dupes in other palettes. One is in the Taupes palette by Juvia's Place, this color, and I'm swatching that color here for you. If you build this color up, you will kind of get to a grayish, darker grayish. It's not that dark though. Another moderate dupe that I found is this color from the Nomad palette. This has a much stronger mossy green hue. I know Blend Bunny just recently released a palette all done up that has a gray that could be a dupe for this. I don't have the palette, so I don't know for a fact. But when I saw that palette, I thought the gray could possibly be a dupe for this. And last but not least is this color Hooked. This color is a beautiful silver with a hint of green. Let's do a swatch. And another swatch, and let's do a third swatch. And I thought that 420 from Looxi could possibly be a dupe. 420 is a little greener and it's a little bit funkier. So that is 420 for you. It's a duochrome, so from the angle I'm looking at, I see a blue hue. And if you wanted to take that color super funk, I'm playing off of the neutral hue of Hooked and recommending Hyperion, which is a green to neutral. I think you can see the neutral shift. You can't see the green shift. This is a green to neutral multichrome. Let me swatch this for you here. It's a little bit darker than that color, but from the angle I'm looking, I see green. Let me see, can I capture the green? I think you might see a tad green from some angles, maybe. Trust me, there is a green hue. Another alternative for this color is Vermeil by Clionadh, and I'm gonna quickly swatch Vermeil for you. The issue with Vermeil is that it has an orange hue from some angles, and because this color is very much neutral and cool toned, in that sense, they don't go together, but from many angles, vermeil, which is one of the jeweled multichromes, looks identical to this color. And it also has a green shift. Another color that I want to recommend also is a dupe for Hyperion, but from Clionadh, which is Weld. Clionagh's dark green to brown multichrome. So this was Hyperion, and you can see that the neutral shift is lighter. This is Weld, so the neutral shift is very dark brown. Okay, friends, as you can see, my hands have all kinds of swatches and colors on them, so I need to go wash them. But when I come back, we're gonna do this eye look, one side with the OG Good Sport, and for the other side, I'm gonna use the dupes that I recommended. And then I'm gonna bring the camera closer and you can see how close these dupes were. And then you can see whether you guessed correctly about which side was the original palette. I've already primed my eyes with Painterly from MAC. And I'm going to do the eye look with the dupes on camera, and then I'm going to do it with Colourpop equivalents off camera. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to use every single color, every single dupe color, but I'll try to use, a good number. So I'm going to go into the purple color. This one is Seeing Stars by Colourpop. I'm going into my crease. So the idea is I'm going to do this and I'm going to try to see if I can recreate the same exact eye look with the actual palette. See how close they will look. Colourpop has fantastic quality. I mean, look at the pigmentation. I mean, seriously. I just started. It hasn't even been half a minute, and it's already like as dark as it can be. So you know what? I feel like I need to blend this out. I'm gonna pick a fluffy brush and I'm just gonna blend out the edges. I'm gonna go into this color, which is Violicious by Looxi Beauty, and we're using that instead of Reckless, which is that color. I'm gonna do my outer V area. So as you all know, I have hooded eyes, so it's a lot easier to do this blending when I'm looking down. I actually realized I don't think I've ever reviewed Colourpop on this channel. Have I reviewed Colourpop on this channel? I don't think I have. Folks, I have a lot of the 9pan palettes, and I know a lot of them are not, recent releases. In fact, I don't think I've bought any 9pans in the past year. But if you want me to review the older ones, I can totally do that. I just feel like, I can make the time's worth if it's going to be of value to you. So write to me in the comments below if that is something you would like to see. Now I'm going to take a relatively flat brush. I'm going to go into the yellow, which is Totally Buggin' by Colourpop. We're using this instead of the color Trooper. I'm going to do this in my lower lid. I'm going to go into Nomad from Juvia's Place. I want to use another flat brush like this, and I'm going to go into this color. We're using that color instead of this color called Trophies. I'm going to start with my outer lower lid area, and I'm just blending it towards the inner part. And then after I put the color down, I'm just going to pick up the other brush and diffuse the color into the yellow. That Juvia's Place color is pigmented. So I'm going to use a little bit of NYX's glitter primer. Tapping, tapping, tapping. So I'm not going to use the funky colors. I'm going to use the colors that I think are very close to the actual color because we want to compare the looks at the very end. So I'm going to go into this color, which I think is the closest dupe I've seen. This is Hot Rod from Looxi, and I'm using that instead of Rookie in the Colourpop palette, which is this color lower down. And I'm going to put that across my lid. And if I need to, I'll just use one of the brushes I used and kind of blend the edges so it's not super edgy on the side. Now I'm going to take Ace Beauté, and with a tiny brush, I'm going to go into this color Hay, which I'm using in place of Wild Out. I think this is the closest I have in my collection to that color, and I'm using this in my inner corner. Okay folks, my eye look is done. I might need to go do a full blend at the end, but let me go off camera, do the other eye with Good Sport, and I will be right back. Okay friends, now you can see whether you guessed correctly. So this side was the side where I used the OG palette. Let me bring the camera closer and show you the eye look so that you can see the similarities and the differences between the OG palette and the dupe. Thank you so much friends. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram link is in the description box below. I love you all. Have a fantastic day, and until next time. Bye.